let's talk about what's in my pantry. Hi guys, and welcome back to What Fuels a Dancer. My name is Leah, and I am a professional ballet dancer, a certified nutrition health coach, and I'm currently working on getting my master's in nutrition. So as you can see by today's title, we are going to talk about what's in my pantry. I thought that this would be a really fun video for you to see what are some of my staples for my day-to-day meals, as well as hopefully it can provide some inspiration for some new things to try. So I have not been to the grocery store in a little bit, so there are definitely some things that I would normally have in here that I don't right now because I need to pick them up, but I will probably remember to mention them. So I have everything spread out here. It's quite a lot, so buckle in and let's get into it. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as hit the little notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. I would really appreciate all of your support. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep watching. All right, I don't even know where to start. All right, we'll just start here. So oats. Oats are one of my favorite things to have in the pantry, not only for baking, but also for many different breakfast foods, like obviously oatmeal, but I also love making baked oatmeal. I make granola with it. There's really so many things that you can do with it. I will also grind oats into a flour and use it in baking. So it really is so useful for me. So that's that. So I mentioned granola earlier. So here is some of my homemade chocolate granola. It's super tasty. It has oats and hemp seeds, walnut, cocoa powder, coconut oil, almond butter, vanilla, salt. Yeah, it's super tasty. So if you want the recipe, let me know. But this has really become a staple in our household. I know that this is a huge jar, but we use quite a bit of coconut oil in our house. So I use this for baking, for cooking. I sometimes make my own body moisturizer and this goes in it. So we really do use this for a lot of things. Let's see. Hemp seeds. Hemp seeds, I get this big bag from Costco. Hemp seeds are filled with fiber and healthy fat and protein, so they are really great for dancers. For me, I find it best to just like add a little bit of sprinkle into things. I'll top it on toast, I'll put it in salads, I'll mix it in with smoothies. I put it in my granola, so there's really so many things that you can do with hemp seeds. You can also just like sprinkle it on some yogurt. It's a really great source of protein for dancers. Next, all right, so this is a huge bag of lentils. So as some of you guys know, my husband and I, we eat plant-based just because that's what we like. And so we eat a lot of lentils and beans as protein in our meals. So I buy these big bags off of Amazon. We like the taste of like non-canned beans, and it's also more economical for us because I'm able to make large batches in the Instapot, and I can freeze some leftovers so that I can just pull them out from the freezer if we need extras. So these brown lentils, I can't recommend them enough. I also get like red lentils, garbanzo beans, and black beans that are dried. But I also, let me see if I can find them. I usually also have canned beans just for last minute, like was not prepared. And you know, I don't have time to wait for dried beans or lentils to cook. So I usually have like some kidney beans or pinto beans, black beans, garbanzo beans that are just ready to go for a meal if we're running low. Oh, this is fun. All right, so this is canned jackfruit. So if you have not tried this before, it has an interesting texture. It has the texture of pineapple and pulled pork, if that makes any sense. So what I do with this is I drain it and make sure that it's really dry, and then I bake it in the oven. I add some olive oil and a bunch of spices on it, and we make it for like taco bowls and things like that. So it's super tasty, and it's just really fun to add different elements into our meals. I got this from Trader Joe's. So yeah, that's what I do with that. Pasta. Okay, so we love pasta in our house because it's a really easy, quick meal. And we have different kinds of pastas just for what we feel like. So one of my favorites is this brown rice and quinoa pasta from Trader Joe's. It's one of the best gluten-free pastas I have been able to find. Sometimes I just want to add a little bit more protein to our pasta, and so this is a great option for higher protein pasta in comparison to regular pasta. I really like this particular pasta with pesto. Super tasty. And I really like the texture of this one as well, as long as it's not overcooked. This is the other gluten-free pasta that we really like. This is a red lentil pasta from Trader Joe's, and I really like this one because it is high in protein, high in fiber, and this one I feel like no matter, like if you accidentally overcook it, it still has a good texture. I'll cook this one in the Instapot with like a tomato sauce, or I'll just make it over the stove. So this is a really great pasta, also from Trader Joe's. And then this is just like a normal wheat pasta. I really love, this is from Costco as well. I love the texture of just like regular pasta. And so I love making this for like pasta salads, or if I'm making like a baked macaroni and cheese, this is a really great pasta for that. Also, it's just like such a cute shape. I love fun pasta. More pasta, of course. So this is a millet and brown rice ramen. This is like really great because this cooks so quickly. It cooks in like, I want to say like 3 minutes. So it's super great if you're just cooking dinner for yourself and you just need something really easy and fast. I will put this in a soup. Oh my gosh. I'll put this in a soup, or I will make like stir fry with it. So there's really so many things that you can do with this pasta, and it's so easy to make and it's super quick. So it's really good for those late nights and things like that. This is another fun and kind of random item, I think. So these rice paper sheets that you can use to make like rice paper rolls. I found this at just like the regular grocery store. I was really surprised to find brown rice ones. For me personally, I also have brown rice and white rice in our pantry. They're like in these huge bags, so I didn't bring them over here. But I like to use either one, just depending on whatever I feel like having. But for these rolls, I was really curious to try these brown rice ones, and I ended up really liking them. So what I like to do is I'll make them and I'll put some veggies inside of it, as well as some tofu or some garbanzo beans, and then I'll make like a spicy peanut sauce to dip them in, and it is so good. It's also a really good like summer recipe because you don't have to bake anything and it's really fast. You don't have to boil anything on the stove, so it's really convenient. I love these. So also, usually we have more grains in the house, but right now I'm out of quinoa, which is usually a staple that we have. I've talked about it a million times on here, but it has a lot of fiber as well as it has a lot of protein in it. And so it's a really great pseudo grain. Because technically it's not a grain, but whatever. It's a really great grain that I almost always have on hand. But this is another one I like. So this is bulgur, and this is a cracked wheat. So if you have to eat gluten-free, this is not something that you can have because it does have wheat in it. But I love the texture of bulgur. It is so fluffy and like, it has this really unique chew to it that I love to have. I love like making a little like dense salad with it. So I'll put in some toasted nuts and a lot of herbs and maybe some dried fruit and some nuts and some sort of bean or lentil, and maybe throw in some like sliced cucumber or sliced tomato. And it's just super yummy and super delicious. I love having other grains on hand. Some other ones that I like to have are like farro and buckwheat, just to like really change things up, because having like brown rice and quinoa over and over again, I kind of get bored of it. So that's that. I need to pick those up though. This is some chickpea flour. I love making soca or saka. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, so I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. It's like a cross between a crepe and a pancake, but it's super tasty. It's more on the savory side. And so I'll make that and maybe have some veggies with it, or I'll make fritters with this. It was a few months ago, but I grated some zucchini and mixed it with some chickpea flour and some spices, and I made these like zucchini fritters, and they were so good. So if you want to try something new, there's a lot of super fun recipes that you can do with chickpea flour. Let's talk about nut butters. So we have a lot of like nuts and seeds and nut butters in our house. So these are, let me pick them up. These are the three that we always have. So peanut butter, it's a staple, it's a given. My dog loves it, we love it. I love to have it in smoothies. I love to put it on a banana or an apple, or sometimes for dessert, we'll like cut up some chocolate and mix in some peanut butter with it, and it's like a chocolate peanut butter cup. So good. Also, it's amazing to make like sauces with, put it on toast. Like, I mean, you guys know, peanut butter is life, basically. And then this almond butter from Costco is my favorite almond butter, and it's actually like reasonably priced. So this is my favorite almond butter. I feel like I'm more on an almond butter kick than a peanut butter kick, but I love putting almond butter on toast and then sprinkling some like hemp seeds and chia seeds on it. I will also have almond butter and banana, or almond butter and dates. Like I use almond butter for baking, like I told you for the granola, or sometimes like I'll find like a banana bread recipe that has almond butter in it. So also a staple in our house. And then the last one is tahini. So tahini is actually ground sesame seeds. So it is a little bit like more bitter because it's ground sesame seeds, but I love that bitterness, and it has a really like buttery texture to it, and typically it's a lot more runny than other nut butters, so it's really easy to just like drizzle on everything. I love tahini, like tahini and honey on toast, or tahini and date. I will make like a quick salad dressing with tahini, honey, and like a grainy mustard. It is my go-to staple for so many things in the house. Oh, olive oil. I feel like everyone knows why you use olive oil, but I use it to cook with. I make salad dressings with it. There are just so many uses for olive oil. It's definitely a staple in our household. Veggie broth. So I always like to have veggie broth on hand because you just never know when you're going to want a soup or if a recipe calls for it. So I always have these like boxes of veggie broth on hand. Canned tomatoes. You can make it into a pasta sauce, you can make it into pizza sauce, you can add it to soups. There are just so many applications for it. You can make salsa with it. Like literally there are so many uses for it. This is also one of those things that I always have on hand, and it's always in my pantry. Coconut milk. So I love having coconut milk, like unsweetened canned coconut milk on hand. It's super creamy. I buy full fat coconut milk because that's just what I like, but it's super thick and creamy. It's really great for baking. I also use this to make chia seed pudding, and it's like super thick and creamy, and it is so good. Also, this is really good to have like in curries. If you have a creamy soup, like sometimes I'll make a butternut squash soup during the fall, and I add some coconut milk to it, and it's just so creamy and delicious. So coconut milk is definitely a staple. Dates. So I was talking about these earlier. They look a little like not appetizing. They're like super gooey and sweet. They're great to just have with some nut butter on it and maybe like some chocolate chips. Or you can make some like snack bars with it, or some little like snack balls. They're really great for that. Like when I'm dancing full time, I carry dates with me with nut butter everywhere. It's such a quick and easy snack. That combination has all of the things that you want in a snack combination. Like, not only does it taste good, but it has carbohydrates and protein and fat and packed in like a little bite. So it's perfect for those long days in the theater or in the studio. All right, so here I have honey and agave, and I use both depending on just like what I feel like. I actually prefer agave in my matcha. As many of you know, I have a daily matcha, but I like honey in normal tea. I also use these in baking. I use these in sauces. I just use both of these in a lot of things. So they're just like staples in our household. I actually need to get more honey because we are almost out. A few more sauces. These are, again, all from Trader Joe's. This is sriracha. Both my husband and I, we drizzle sriracha on everything, so this is a staple. This is a honey Aleppo sauce. This is really great as a marinade. It's like a little bit spicy and tangy and a little sweet. It like has all of those flavor components in it. If I'm like roasting veggies, or this is especially good with the jackfruit that I mentioned earlier. It's just like a really good sauce to have on hand. And then this is coconut aminos. So as some of you guys might know, my husband is allergic to soy. So instead of using soy sauce for recipes, I use coconut aminos. And it doesn't have the same flavor profile, but it's the closest thing that I can find to soy sauce. I'll sometimes like put soy sauce individually on my own food, like at the end, but if I'm making something for us together, I use coconut aminos. And then this is a sweet chili sauce. If any of you are sweet chili sauce fans, I like the one from Trader Joe's. It's really good with the rice paper rolls that I was talking about earlier. I'll put it on a stir fry. If you're someone who likes sweet and spicy, this is like perfect for you. All right, this is also random. I am a huge fan of black olives. I know that there are olive haters out there, but I love black olives. I like to put them on my pizza. I put them in my pasta. I will put them on my tacos. I will literally find a way to put them on anything. I'm not a huge green olive fan, but like black olives are my jam. So I almost always have a can on hand. All right, so here are some of my favorite spices. These are by no means all of the spices I have. These are just some of the ones that I go to quite often. This is everything but the bagel seasoning. I feel like I don't need to explain it, but I will put this on my avocado toast. It tastes delicious. That's all. I also love cinnamon. I use cinnamon in most of my baking, really. I love that like slight spice that it gives, and it adds like just this warmth to whatever I'm baking. I also just love the smell of cinnamon. So this is something that we use quite often. And then this is also from Trader Joe's. As you can tell, I go to Trader Joe's quite a bit. This is the Japanese multi-purpose seasoning. So it has white sesame seeds, black sesame seeds, seaweed, salt, and kelp powder. I love putting this on any sort of stir fry. Again, I'll use it with those rice paper rolls. I love using this because it just adds just, you know, like a little pizzazz to my meal. All right, next is this chili seasoning. So if you are someone who doesn't like to buy a bunch of different spices separately, this is a really great blend because it has chili pepper, cumin, garlic powder, and oregano in it. So it's really good for if you're making any sort of chili or Mexican inspired dish. So I use this quite a bit. And then lastly, it's this multi-purpose umami seasoning blend. It's made from different kinds of mushrooms as well as other spices. Especially for those of you who are plant-based and don't eat meat, this is a really great option to kind of add that like meaty umami-ness to your dishes. So this is something I found again at Trader Joe's, and it's just like a super fun thing that I like to have and add to a lot of my dishes. So we have a lot of nuts and seeds in our house. These are pistachios. I like toasting pistachios and chopping them up and putting them in salads or just sprinkled on top of different dishes. There's also cashews. I love using cashews in stir fries, and also I make this like creamy blended cashew sauce that's kind of like a cheese sauce. This is perfect for that. So I always have cashews on hand. Then these are walnuts. So I love using walnuts in baked goods or in my oatmeal or baked oatmeal. I just love toasted walnuts so much. So I always have these around. And then I have almonds. I love toasting these, chopping them up, putting them on salads and other things. We also make our own almond milk just because we like the way that it tastes. And because we go through so much almond milk, it's just more economical for us to make it ourselves. So the bulk of almonds that I use in the kitchen are actually used in almond milk. Home stretch. I feel like this ended up being so much more than I thought it would be. Okay. I also love having sun-dried tomatoes. So I love chopping these up and adding them to different bowls. They're really great to have with a salad. I feel like I say that all the time, but the bulk of my meals are just like a bunch of things piled on greens because they're super easy to throw together and it's just super tasty. Be on the lookout for my how to build a better bowl video, but I love sun-dried tomatoes. They're just super tasty. Ooh, trail mix. So I have probably like 4 or 5 different trail mixes just like scattered around. I literally have a bag of trail mix in my car, like in the center console, just in case if I get hungry. I also usually carry one of these in my dance bag, just in case I am at the studio for longer than I thought I was going to be, or if I get hungry. I don't eat it like on a regular basis just because there's so many other snacks that I like, but this is so convenient to just have on hand. This is super great as a quick snack, especially for dancers who are on the go. Few more things. I love dried fruit as well. I love having it as a component to my salads. I'll put it on top of oatmeal. I'll have it as a snack with some nuts or some chocolate. So these are some dried cranberries and dried apricots. I also love dried mango. Dried mango is like so delicious and good. If you know, you know. So those are other things that I also like to have. Also, for my plant-based friends, nutritional yeast. So this was something it took me a while to warm up to at the beginning because it has like a weird flavor. I like to make it into sauces, especially like that cashew cream sauce. I will add this to it for kind of like that cheesy flavor. Then for crunchy snacks, I usually like having some chips and crackers. It's usually not my go-to just because normally I'm not a huge chip person, but every once in a while I just really want like chips and salsa or chips and guacamole or just like crackers and hummus or crackers with my meal. So I always just have some lying around. These right here are some of my favorites. These are multi-grain tortilla chips. I love normal corn tortilla chips, but usually I actually really like the ones that are really like seeded just because I like the taste and the texture of them. I also just got these crackers. It's these like seeded and grain crisp bread. I haven't tried them yet, so I'm super excited to try them. We'll see how they are. These are the late July jalapeno lime tortilla chips. If you are a Cool Ranch Doritos fan, but you want it to be a little bit spicier, these are for you. They're spicy and crunchy. They're not super sweet, which I feel like sometimes like powdered chips or chips with seasoning on them can be. And they're not too salty, like what I also find some flavored chips to be. So we love these in our house. And then lastly, as you guys know, I am a tea drinker. Coffee does not sit with me well. I buy this Japanese matcha. This is the one that I have found to be most economical that I like. This is a culinary grade, so it's not a ceremonial grade. And then this is the green tea that I like. It is a loose leaf green tea with roasted brown rice in it. It might not sound good, but it is like slightly toasty. It's like my favorite green tea ever. If you're a green tea lover and you have not tried this kind, I would highly encourage you to. Last but not least is chocolate. So I love dark chocolate. I'm not a huge like milk chocolate or even like the semi-sweet. They're still too sweet for me. I love a good bitter dark chocolate, but I'm also really picky about what chocolate I get. And this one is my favorite. It's this 85% dark chocolate from Trader Joe's. And the thing that I like about this one is most dark chocolates that are this dark, you can taste the fermentation and it tastes a little bit like sour and it leaves a weird aftertaste in your mouth. So I really like this dark chocolate because it's super smooth and creamy, but it still has that bitterness of 85% dark chocolate. And it's not super sweet, which I love about chocolate. Also, I find that a lot of really dark chocolates are super, like, they don't have a great texture, but this one is still really creamy. And also sometimes I feel like to make up for the bitterness of it, some brands will add like a lot of vanilla extract and it just like tastes like vanilla extract. But this one doesn't have any in it and it is so good. This is my favorite chocolate bar. So anyways, that is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this type of video. If you did like it, make sure to leave a comment down below and I will make sure to make more like this one. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye, guys.